would you all please stand to salute the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. On to the consent agenda. All of the following items, those items of a routine nature, normally approved at board meetings, will be approved by one vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. The consent agenda consists of a discussion, consideration, and actions on the following items A through V.
Move for approval. Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. On to information reports. Do we have a representative from USPA tonight? Do not. And UCTA, I saw Ms. Churchill.
President Rummerman, Dr. Hartzler, members of the board, we're so glad COVID seems to be on the downslide. We're hoping we can finish the rest of the year in person. Our UCTA Legislative Committee is gearing up to lobby at the Capitol. We're also planning to set up times for members to contact legislators en masse outside the contract day to fight anti-public school legislation.
Thank you. All right. We have no hearings and correspondence tonight. On the business agenda, under instruction, we have a first reading of the proposed 2022-2023 school calendar. Dr. Hartzler?
Thank you, President Rummerman, board members. This evening, I would like to present to you as a first reading really three options for a school calendar for this next school year. As I said to you, I think back in December, when we were looking at the calendar and trying to put this together, it has been a challenge, without question. And sometimes I'm able to present to you kind of just one option, and we'll say, okay, this is the one that I would like for the parents and for our teachers to weigh in on. But this year is kind of a unique year. And so therefore, I'm going to propose three options and ask not only the board, but also ask for our parents and our staff to weigh in on. As a matter of fact, Mr. Payne is going to help us with putting out these three options, and we will ask, again, our staff and parents to weigh in on them. And by next month, I'm pretty confident that we will be able to then come back and ask for a final approval. I might point out really one thing, one of the perhaps the biggest differences between the three calendars has to do with winter break. On option one, it has us finishing the first semester of this next year on Friday the 16th, and then returning on Tuesday, January 3rd. On option two, we would go to school a little longer and be out on our last day, December the 20th, which is a Tuesday, and then we would be back in school on Wednesday, January 4th. And then option three has us going yet a little longer in December, and that is that we would go to school until Thursday, December 22nd, but yet we would not, return back to school until Monday, January the 9th. And again, if you're like me, you can create a little T-chart and say, here are the pros and cons, and we'll have fun with that. I'll just say that, because you'll sit there and go back and forth like I did over and over and over again. So I do apologize that I wasn't able to narrow this down to either just one or two, but at the same time, I will be interested to hear the feedback that we receive from our parents and our teachers as well. So, thank you.
Yeah, this is the type of thing that parents and teachers are great at finding the right solution to. All right, no vote is required on that, so we look forward to hearing from our community. We will move on to personnel. Consider and take action on changes to the 21-22 Early Retirement Incentive Program participation list. Mr. Levering?
Thank you, President Romerman, members of the board. This is our final list for the ERI for the 21-22 school year. The time has elapsed. This year we have 13 teachers, 3 support employees, and 1 administrator on the list. We did have a few people dropped off, but that is now final after all of the time. The total projected savings for our experienced teachers is a little over $200,000. But as we know, this isn't necessarily a savings program. It actually does help to retain our teachers to stay a little longer to reach the ERI point, and try to keep that experience in the schools. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to offer to our staff to be able to do that and continue that insurance for a couple of years, which we know does help them and for all their service they've made to Union. So I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Move for approval?
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Thank you. Under school operations, consider and take action to award the commodity processing bids for the 22-23 fiscal year. Ms. Griffith?
Yes, President Romerman and members of the board and Dr. Hartzler, I would like to ask your approval of the award of the commodity bids to the about 13 companies listed here, including Tyson, Pilgrim's Pride, Peterson Farms, Nardone's. They're all different types of companies that produce different types of food. And then we also have 3 companies that are listed in the paragraph about that are just a small amount of product, so we cannot have that delivered directly to our warehouse because they don't do that small delivery. And so those will be going out to distributors to see what they will charge us to deliver it to us. And we also have an assessment fee for our commodities that we have to pay for the Department of Health and Human Services, and that's about $25,500. This year's been very difficult. We have to forecast this, and we've had 2 years of unusual years where we've added different types of programs. We've had free meals for all kids. We've had supper meals for all kids, and then not knowing what next year is going to hold for us. And we just heard today they still don't know. We don't know if all kids are going to be eating free. We do know that we probably won't have free meals for all of the schools. So I'm sort of disappointed in that, but we'll see. We'll wait and see. So that does sort of like, how much do we buy of everything? Because the last 2 years are not something we can go on. So anyway, we did our best in trying to forecast, and we are getting some supply chain funds, which will help with the increase in cost. Our food has gone up, specifically on commodity foods, anywhere from 3 to 60%, and the average of 25%. So that's a huge hit on food costs, but it's hitting everyone, restaurants, families, everyone. So that's something we also have to consider in our budget. We did some taste testing with kids because chicken is a very important product, and we had a new company called Gold Creek that entered into the bidding, and they were low bid, but we don't want it to be something our kids don't like, and they tasted it and did not like it. So it's good to find out before we do it, okay? And that's why we had kids. And we had kids that were in high school that were there in the Career Connect Kids, so it was a fun thing for them. And we also tasted different chicken fried steaks because that is one of our #1 top sellers, and we are not, for some reason, Tyson is not producing it next year. It was a shock to us, but we are trying to find a substitute, and so far, the one that I know that Dr. Hartzler, I'm sorry. We need to write a letter and protest. The other samples they sent were not anything close to what we're used to having, so what our plan is to order in a whole bunch into our warehouse before the end of this school year, and we'll have enough for 6 to 8, maybe even 10 months of school. We can do that because we have a nice warehouse. And they have agreed to give us pounds of beef and chicken free, so I'm going to take advantage of that, and we may just have to do that for this next coming year. Anyway, that's the story of commodity bids. So.
I do the same with Girl Scout cookies. So. Move to approve.
Second. Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 2, presentation of Internet Protocol in compliance with the Child Internet Protection Act. Consider and take action to authorize the superintendent or designee to sign any subsequent E-rate documents with the exception of any contract with financial obligations. Mr. Borland.
Yes, good evening. It's the start of another E-rate season. It seems like we just keep continuing going through them. But this will allow us to sign all of the very benign documents we have to sign throughout the E-rate season. There's 30 to 40 different things we have to sign, from student count to SIPA compliance to cyberbullying. So this just allows us to sign those documents and get the E-rate process going. It's very timely. I have to submit it on time. If not, we could lose the federal funding, so it makes that process easier. This will not include any contract for any purchase. That will be brought to the March agenda. We'll buy the internet WAN and all the network switches and everything at the next month's meeting. And part of this also is to inform you that we're still continuing to filter internet for kids. We're required by law to have a filter in place. We actually employ 2 filters. So we have one that's designed to filter all activity while on campus, and then a completely different filter that filters activity when they're off campus, when they're at home.
Move to approve. Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
All right, under finance, consider and take action on the 21-22 child nutrition budget revisions. Dr. Williams?
Thank you. Madam President, as you just heard from Mrs. Griffin, the child nutrition program is kind of facing some unique challenges this year. When we met a few weeks ago with Lisa and Charlie and reviewed the budget, it became clear that we needed to make an earlier amendment than we normally would for the child nutrition budget. Fortunately, they will have extra, if you will, revenue coming in this year, and that'll be in the form of the federal emergency operational cost funding grants, the fruit and vegetable, fresh fruit and vegetable grants, and of course the increase in the federal per meal reimbursement. So what we are recommending is an increase of $1.5 million in revenue and an increase of $3 million in expenditures. As you all know, our Child Nutrition Fund carries a significant fund balance, and we know that over the next couple of years, we will be working on spending some of that down for capital projects. Right now, I believe Mr. Bushyhead is interested in purchasing 2 new warehouse trucks. We have a need for walk-in freezer space at Anderson and Cedar Ridge. So by enlarging the expenditure budget, we'll be able to cover those costs as well as the cost Lisa spoke to with the increased cost in food. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
All right. I don't believe we have any new business. Opportunity comments from the audience and board members. I believe Dr. Hartzler has a recognition for Leadership Union.
I can certainly do that, but
You want me to do it?
President Roman, you can do that as well.
We have members of Leadership Union here tonight. So if you are here, would you stand and introduce yourself?
All right.
My name is Stephen Blades. I'm at Jefferson Elementary School. I supervise for the extended day program and also run the camps during summertime, spring break, and fall break. Thank you.
I am Linda Edmondson. I'm at Rosa Parks Elementary. I am in their early childhood, early resource special education program. I teach the pre-K 4-year-olds and am the building special ed coordinator.
Hi, I'm Holly Washington. I'm the lead school counselor at the Union Freshman Academy.
Okay, thank you for showing your leadership tonight. All right, Dr. Hartzler?
Thank you. Just wanted to give really a couple shout outs. Was able to go to the high school musical on Saturday's evening, and so congratulations to Fine Arts and Mr. Powell and the staff and the students. They were incredible, and I find myself every time I go to one of our high school musicals kind of pinching myself saying this is a high school musical that I'm setting in. It's just incredible to see our kids, and I think it's true, and I think a lot of you would agree with this, that the last couple of years, certainly have been very challenging for all of us, and to get to kind of finally see the kids starting to come back into their element and getting to see them perform. Last year, we limited, if you remember, the audience or the number of tickets that were sold. And Saturday night, oh my goodness, it was extremely well attended, and then the energy level was just incredible. So great job to our students and to all the staff for once again producing an amazing show that is truly the Union way, excellence in all that we do. And then last but not least, to our Teaching and Learning Division, Sandy Calvin and her team, and to Communications, thank you all for putting together, again, a great Teacher of the Year program this year. I thought it was outstanding, and we're going to ask our teachers to give us some feedback on it to kind of see how we can continue to make it better. So Chastity, thank you to you as well. Great job in putting that together. So well done. So that's all I have.
Anybody else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Kinnear?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Dr. McNeil?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. We're adjourned.